pillaring Hillary Clinton, for the alleged security breach of having her own server, which it wasn't. And here's this guy, like he's practically like leaving documents, on the table at a deli, or actually opening up electronically for anyone to hack.
What one national security person said, there are at least 200 people in Russia and China whose job it is to hack his phone.
Right.
So it's all open. They've been hacking him for a while.
Right.
And he was
assume they know everything.
And can we just remind everyone that he was the second string correspondent on Fox and Friends Saturday, where people complained that he would show up drunk. This is a guy who was in charge of 2 different veterans organizations and bankrupted them because of using the money to pay for trips and parties. I mean, this is who they put in charge of the largest bureaucracy on the planet.
But seriously, you're talking about someone who's showing sociopathic tendencies, alcoholic tendencies, and we're not showing the picture of him without his shirt on today. But it's actually worth looking at. He's got talk about they're sending people to El Salvador because they have gang tattoos. Pete Hegseth looks like he's got white supremacist gang tattoos all over his body. If he ever had to go to jail, he'd be fine. The white supremacists would recognize him by his gang tattoos and protect him immediately. The big Celtic crosses and all these different sort of Christian-ish symbols that are supposed to have, special meaning to people who know about the revolution that's coming, the storm, or whatever
like
the hell
Nazis.
it is.
Nazis. Right.
Exactly.
So what's he been up to at the Pentagon, John? Right. What do you have to show us?
So the Pentagon is in disarray. Let's see this. Under Hegseth, chaos prevails at the Pentagon. The defense secretary's inner circle is in disarray, and distrust is growing among civil servants and senior military officials. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth arrived at the Pentagon in January with almost no government experience and huge ambitions to remake the way the military was being run. In just 3 months in office, Mr. Hegseth, a former Fox News host, the New York Times doesn't mention that he was part of the B team of Fox and Friends, not even the A team, but we know that for a fact, has instead produced a run of chaos that is unmatched in the recent history of the Defense Department. Mr. Hegseth's inner circle of close advisors, military veterans who, like him, had little experience running large, complex organizations, is in shambles. 3 members of the team he brought with him into the Pentagon were accused last week of leaking unauthorized information and escorted from the building. A 4th recently departed member of Mr. Hegseth's team, John Ulyat, who had been his top spokesman, accused Mr. Hegseth of disloyalty and incompetence in an opinion essay in Politico on Sunday. The building is in disarray under Hegseth's leadership, Mr. Ulyat wrote. And so, of course, rather than answering any of these charges, what he's worried about is all the leakers. And so those 3 people that he had escorted from the building, because, it's the bad thing isn't that he's using signal chat so that all of our enemies can read our battle plans. The bad thing is that somebody told someone.
Yeah, I think this first 100 days has been defined by chaos, incompetence, and authoritarian overreach, right? I think that about sums it up. I mean, he's pursuing the Project 2025 agenda after lying about it for months. He's dismantling agencies. He's unilaterally gutting, the federal bureaucracy. And, now we're seeing that more methodical approach beginning with Russell Vought, like we talked about last time, with potentially Elon Musk now having overreached. We can get to that in a little bit. But basically, my overall take is Americans are seeing exactly who he is. He's a man who wants absolute power. He has no discipline. Absolutely no discipline. And I think people are starting to see him for what he is. And since last time we talked, I was telling him, Harry, before this, like it was BL before Liberation Day. And now it's after Liberation Day. So it's a whole new context on top of, an already tumultuous start.
Well, I was really gratified to see, sorry, Don, Jake Tapper, when he was talking about the drop in the stock market, saying, since Liberation Day. And I think that's going to become a mantra for journalists since Liberation Day, because Trump will want to blame this on Biden.
Yes, exactly.
When there's nothing stocked on the shelves of Walmart, and when prices are going up by 10, 20, 30%, the country has to know who did this.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think Liberation Day really is the good punctuation point. And you're right. If we played a piece of tape earlier today with from Fox Business, when he's basically declaring Liberation Day as sort of the day Trump broke the world financial system.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, who knew Liberation Day meant he was going to liberate us from our money? That's what that actually was. But like, yeah, he went and he unilaterally tanked the global markets. He sent economic fears into recession territory. Now his mood is an economic indicator. Like, we have to wait to see whether or not which day he'll wake up and decide to maybe tank the economy. And if you're, you know, even if he rolls all this back, the long-term damage, in my opinion, is done, because how can our allies, trading partners, business leaders across the world make long-term investment decisions if one day the president, you know, especially you have to plan for a Democratic America or a Republican America. And if it's a Republican America, they might wake up one day and tear up the trade deals they negotiated, or they might decide they want to just punish people just to feel powerful that day. And I think it's going to take a really long time to rebuild the trust he's broken in 3 months.
Okay, so that's our preview. If you want to watch the whole show, and you really should, it's posted every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern on the Really American Network. We stream it live, and then you can see it anytime after that, either on YouTube, or you can hear the audio version on Spotify and Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. So please join us this week. We look forward to having you. Right, John?
Right. See you there.
Bye.